Well, I'd like to thank Coach Bandstra for having me on, having Onsted football on. Is we'll talk a little bit about our game, and I'm going to talk about Rocket. Basically, we have a Rocket series, and just a little bit about us. I'm not going to spend too much time on slides and not background. I want to get to the parts of it, but we're about 440 students. One thing about our league is we are in a very physical league. We have 5 T teams in our league. We have 3 wrestling powerhouses in our league now. Dundee's a national ranked in wrestling. Hudson's wrestling powerhouse. Clinton is now in our league. And then played 2 other T teams. And now actually we picked up a week 1 game. It's a team that runs T and wing T. So it's not like the advantage sometimes when you're the physical team and you're playing a bunch of spread teams. Whereas we're a meat grinder league. So we've had to evolve a little bit. And kind of counteract the aggressiveness of some of these teams that we play, and because everybody's really trying to run trap powered, D-gap stuff. So just a little about me. 16 years as head coach. My first 2 years as head coach, we were a 2x2 spread team. Went to doubling 2006. Had 6 straight years in the playoffs. It's pretty good teams. Then we had definite fall off. We ran flexbone a couple of years, only won a few games. Back to some double wing. We kind of evolved. I was an assistant coach in Tecumseh in 97. Met with Hugh Wyatt in his double wing, and that was great. And Coach Wyatt. I was working with Coach Schmidt, Coach Baker, and Coach Onderbeck in Tecumseh, and helped us score a lot of points, get a lot better. We didn't have great seasons, didn't stop a lot of people, but then new coach went spread, went back to double wing with a lot of clinicking with Coach Tim Murphy and Coach Jason Mensing. Especially if you're a double wing guy, you know those 2 names. Those guys are just, talk ball all the time. And I really like to thank those 2 guys for all that they've taught me. And, I've just been stealing stuff like everybody else, and I'm trying to learn as we go along. So our Rocket series, we're a power team. Our first play we're going to put in is power. Run power and counter. Run trap, wedge, G or belly. Depends down. Depends on how you want to call it. And rocket for us. We ask. With all the edge players we see, we have to figure out how to get to the D gap a little bit different, and how to mess with those edge guys and the overhang players that they have. How much support they're going to have. And so Rocket, how it kind of evolved, and especially with clinicking with Coach Murphy and Coach Mensing, and looking at our films, when I was flexbone, the flexbone Rocket, and if you're a flexbone guy, it's like get to the edge, get to the sideline, even shotgun Rocket, they'll take the pitch and try to get to the sideline. What we found is, if you have an overhang force player, and if you're wing back or you're split end or you're wing back, if he can block that kid, you run Rocket, you can just run that play. Okay, but we played decent teams, well-coached teams, and they set that edge really hard, and we tried to get outside that kid. We're just running to the sideline, and we could get a really big play, but then you could have 3 negative plays. We've kind of adjusted it now, the way we read it and the way we attack that wing, or that, overhang player with our wing, that sometimes it's almost like a D-gap power. So it's not necessarily, the Rocket that some of you are used to, like get to the sideline, get up to the sideline vertical. Because if we can't block that kid, he's better than us, that player out there, it's a negative play because he's going to strain along, the safety's there, they got the sideline as their extra defender, we're in trouble. So I'm going to show you kind of how, we've done it, from using our film and talking to other guys, and how we attack and still use when they really have a hard 9 player, and they got the one overhang with the safety over top, how we kind of still get that play in, but it's a positive play. And we found that we might not hit as many 70-yard plays, but we're not going to have negative plays. It's almost never a negative yard play for us. So it's been a great play. And off that look, We're obviously out of our rocket motion, and we're going to run trap, run belly behind it, or G, which is a great play for us. And then our pop pass I'm going to show, and then keep pass. So the G and the keep pass kind of go together, and our rocket pop, and versions of pop. So just about our rules, and I'll kind of explain this with the drawings, but our front side wing back, this is a key thing for him, and it's a key block, is that front side wing. What he's going to do is he's going to aim at the force defender. The first guy he sees as the most dangerous guy, he's going to aim 2 yards outside of that guy. All right. And he's going to try to hook him. Now, our running backs are taught to get positive yards, to get downhill. So our running backs, which I'll talk about a little bit, how they're going to read him, but sometimes they get vertical even too quick for me. But that wing back's key is he's going to try to aim 2 yards of that. And that force defender is either going to come up to set the edge, which then our kids, we do a little drill, an edge drill, where we run this and we're do it over and over and over a 5-minute period. We just rotate guys, and they're going to flipper it. So if he goes upfield, he's actually going to take his inside arm and he's going to try to wheel him up the field. So as he's going up the field, I'm going to take my inside arm and I'm going to take him and I'm going to turn him up the field, and the hole is actually going to be inside of that then. That's where we end up running our rocket the most, just because they're trying to bounce C-gap with power, and then they're trying to contain the edge player. Okay, so if he stays there and he's kind of reading him, or he comes in, then our wingback's got that 2 yard outside path, and he can take his upfield arm, turn him inside, and then we can get around him on the rocket. But on my film, you're going to see that we don't really get to the edge very much. And honestly, there's times where our guys were watching film like, man, it's there. They're just so used to getting to that, and they want to get downhill. They know that I'm going to get 4 yards, okay, and then you try to bust it. But the really good teams we play, we hardly ever get to the edge. They're going to force that. They're going to have a strong safety and outside linebacker type kid playing that corner position, which you might call a corner position, or like an outside linebacker in a 4-4 look. And he's going to set that edge, and he's going to be, our 150-pound wingback is going to have to block their 170-pound outside linebacker. Doesn't work very well. But we don't want him square. So if he can get his flipper on him and wing him upside, he's just trying to put his head on whatever side and use his momentum. So if he comes up, wheel him out. If he comes in hard, we're going to wheel him in. Simple as that. We do a lot of practice with that, with our backs and our fullbacks too, because we'll put our fullbacks out there, which you'll see. Our front side tight end, he's 7-8-9. He's calling 7-8-9 no matter what play we're running. So that's his job. Now, he's trying to get a vertical push on his outside number. Okay, so on his alignment, he's calling 7-8-9. If it's a 9 tech, we're running this probably because that 9 tech's hard squeeze. So he's going to take a little drop step, short 6-inch drop step, and then he's going to try to just work vertical through that outside number. Okay, and if it's an 8 tech, short vertical or short drop step, trying to get vertical 7 technique, it's an easy down block. But if you have a 9 technique and you ran power, that kid squeezing, he's gonna help take himself of the play. We've had teams where we'll just call rocket down, and we'll just influence down with our tight end because they just ride so hard you don't even have to block them. So our tight end will go to an inside linebacker, and he'll try to get his hands on him, ride him down. Well, then we're pitching, and our tackle's pulling around him, and maybe even our guard, which you'll see in a little bit. So, he's just trying to work upfield. So then our front side tackle, he's going to take a big drop step, try to get a yard of depth, get around the tight end, and he's going to try to get his eyes upfield and inside. Okay, we don't want him pulling and then chasing out. We want him pulling and going straight downfield, or he can turn inside. We don't want him chasing anybody that's going to the sideline. He's not going to get that. So he's going to drive his elbow, drop step, kind of like almost smack the ass of the tight end, try to get close to that tight end, and then work vertical along with the tight end. So that's kind of creating our wall that we want with our tight end, and then our front side tackle just getting downfield. We tell them once you get there, don't stop. Okay. Now we'll talk about when we're in unbalanced here in a little bit on how I've got it drawn up, because sometimes those guys will take place of our tight ends. Front side guard, so our rocket pull steps again. He's going to drive his elbow, get depth, a yard to 2 yards of depth, and he's pulling. And he's going to try to get around the tight end, get vertical too. But he will always wheel inside, which I have a couple clips here. You're like, well, how's he going to do that? You can do it if you drill it. So as he's pulling, and if let's say you have a 3 or 4 technique, and he's going forward and he's getting penetration, that guard, as he's pulling, he'll feel him on his shoulders, and then he'll just try to wheel him and just put him inside. So all you got to do is make some contact and stalemate him for a little bit, and then we'll be gone. As the guy's been doing this for a long time, I always get to, well, Coach, what do you do when they're diving and crawling? It's so sticky there. I'm like, well, you got a guy that's diving and crawling, don't go in it. Don't be sticky to it. All you got to do is, if there's diving, don't run power in there. You're running rocket. I mean, you'll see we have some plays where we're doing that, and those guys aren't even we don't even worry about them. We're just off to the races. Backside guard, he's going to pull like trap, and then he's going to get vertical. The first gap he sees, he can also help cut off on guys pressuring, but you'll see where our backside guard will pull around and he'll get downfield. Backside tackle, he's going to cut off. Then he'll work to the backside too. Most of the time, he's not making any VAR. And our backside tight end, we call it pizza block. So he's going to come across the field and try to get the backside safety to help create touchdown. Fullback, he's going backside A gap unless we call offset. If he's offset, which you'll see our first play, he's actually leading, and he's going to read the wing back. So our fullback will offset him. The wing back, he takes that 2-yard path, and if the wing back, he's looking at that wing back, and if he thinks he sees him getting to the outside of him, he's going to try to go around him. If he thinks he's going to be that kick where that wing, where that force backer goes upfield, so he's going to kick him up, and he's going inside of that. So he's just an extra hat. And when you offset the fullback, obviously you just don't run rocket with it. We'll offset him. We'll run counter back with him. We'll actually run belly. It's almost like a straight dive with him offset. Bring him back across in motion too. The motion back, this is the key part of us. If you run this, is the depth of that motion back. So we'll run him behind our fullback, and he's going right at the heels of our fullback, and he's going to sprint as a cross, and then as the ball snapped, he's going to run, but he's going to turn his shoulders, which will slow him down, and then he's going to catch the pitch right behind the tight end spot. Okay, so we're trying to do late motion because we want it to be about the same time as our power, but when he turns his shoulders, that's going to help slow him down. But the depth, if you don't want your kids to get deeper, because if they get deeper, they catch the pitch, and then if they want to get vertical inside of that kick, so your wing kicks, so it's almost like D-gap, power play almost. He's going to be so deep and so wide, then he's too slow. And we've got film plays where our kids, they get to the hole and it's just too late and it's a 1-yard gain. But if they're tight, if they're right behind that fullback spot, they catch the pitch, then they get through there. They're going to beat, like say you have a fast tackle that's pursuing. You're going to beat him through the hole. You're going to beat the inside linebacker coming across if the tackle doesn't get to him. He's catching that pitch and then he's trying to read the wing back's block. But I don't want him too deep. And I know I did flex bone, like I said, and they catch it really wide, really deep. You can't cut. It's hard to cut back. You're basically trying, like you're either to the sideline to the numbers, or it's a 1-yard play. So you'll see. Quarterback reverses out, nice dead pitch. Again, it should be right behind the tight end, and then he's going to take a 3-step drop. It's for us. We like doing it out of a lot of formations. I have one double tight, but if you're a double tight guy out there, we're in double tight maybe 30% of the time, where we don't really have a lot of stud tight ends. You'll see some of their blocks this year were really, they really blew some guys up. Not really, they just kind of get in the way. But, so we do a lot of formations with them to help them out. So just a couple here. Here's a, basic double tight look, out of a 4-4. So here he's got 7-8-9. He's going to call that. Our wing back, he's aiming 2 yards outside of him. Now we know it's going to be help player. Most of the good teams, he's going to cheat out here and he's going to set this edge. So it's going to be a kick. So then here's a support player, and then obviously here's a support player. our tackle is coming up here, and he's going to get vertical the first hat. Guard's going to get a little bit more depth, 1 to 2 yards, and get vertical, make an alley. And then again, hopefully our wingback's catching it right here, and then he's reading that wing. So if that linebacker's out here and he comes up field, you've got this alley. Okay, that's the alley we're going to hit, and you'll see it on film. Our center, sorry, I didn't talk about the center. Our center is always going play side, unless he's got a head up player. But he's still not going to cut him. We wouldn't cut in this situation if it's Rocket. We're going to try to step to the play side and cut off anybody we can here. If he has like a 2 technique, 1 to 3, he can cut those guys. But it knows we're not worried about that. This is a formation we use a lot, flex tight. What I call flex tight, just a nasty split. This right here. Now, so the communication is important here. So we can look at 2 ways. So let's say we were going to run it to this side. Well, our tackle will he'll do a me-you call. So on this side, if we were running Rocket to the right, okay, he's going to say you, because he can't reach him. So then this guy is going to be our down block, and then he's actually going to pull around him. Now, the way I've got it drawn going to the left, we've got this technique here, 6, whatever you want to call it. He's going to reach that, so he's going to go me. So here's your reach. Our tight end, when he's flexed out like this, we call it FBI, first backer inside. So he's going to have an FBI. He's going to go the first backer inside unless he hears a you call, and then he's going to have to crack. Here's this. He's going first backer inside. This guy's the same job. He's still arcing 2 yards outside of him. Okay. And then, so now our tackle's got to take this. Our guard's still pulling. Here's our alley player, to help on the alley. So, oops. Man, sorry, guys. I don't have a mouse and my fingers on this. Just a couple other things down at the bottom here. This one, we run it to our fullback a lot. Also, now, some of you, if you're a double wing guy, your fullback might be a guard that you don't even, maybe he doesn't touch the ball maybe 3 times. If you're a flex bone team, hey, I wish I would have had this in. This is a great play. If you're a wing T guy, this is a great play. Quick pitch to your fullback, and you're going to see some of ours where, teams where we're counting numbers and are unbalanced, and it's a great quick hitting play that, there's no motion. If you're double wing, everyone's looking for your motion, maybe to rotate. You just hit them with this before you know what you're going on. Our cadence is down. Our guys get down to stance. Then we go. We'll do a hard go count, and we'll go right on go. And then, because usually we're down, go, set it. Together. So. All right, let's go to film here, guys. Let's look at some of this. All right, pull this up. Okay. So this one is this is our off left. So out of double tight. All right, so our fullback jumps off. Going off, so he's going to lead. So right now, here's our tight end. He's got, looks like an 8, so he's calling 8-8-8. Here's here. So here's our overhang. All right, our guard and tackle are going to pull. Our fullback's going to lead, and he's going to try to read this wing. But you'll see sometimes he just kind of sees the first alley, and what happens here is you'll notice on the play, he slows down and stops. He doesn't finish this. He doesn't really run through the block. We tell our guys, I don't care what happens, just keep running. Don't slow down our hole. There's motion, ball snap quick. He's a little deep. See, he should be right here. Okay. And this kid's a great running back, but he should be right here. And all it does is it gets you to the hole quicker. So there's our tight end. And again, I'm not telling you our tight ends are great blockers or bad blockers, but they're trying. He's at least got his head on the outside. He should be, trying to wheel him in. Now our tackle right here, our wing back is going. You can see kind of right now he's got that 2-yard depth. Our backside guard's pulling, and here's a guy coming. So he's going to try to make some contact just enough to stop that guy. Now realize if your wing back is here 1 yard quicker, he's going to be just that much faster to the hole. Okay, so then our wing, he has them. And like I said, this is probably late in the year, I think game 8 maybe. Our guys are so trained, and it's probably on me that we don't get to the edge as much. But they're so trained as get downhill as fast as you can. And if you're a double wing guy, you know what I'm talking about. It's like, but he could really probably reach that edge. And this kid's so fast, if he would get out here, he'd probably be gone. But they know I'm going to follow my brothers. They're going to do it. They're beaten into the head that they will get 4 yards. Vertical, my kid slows down right here. He should just run through that block, because what happens is he gets a piece of them. Ends up stopping the play. Okay, so here's our under. Now, again, so a lot of defenses set their defense to what? Field, right? They're going to set the field. Well, we're going to go unbalanced. We do some. I think we have another one in here too. We're unbalanced to the boundary, and you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So this guy's got to stand up, probably a 9 technique. Okay. Other thing. Sorry. This is our under, which now this is my 2 tackles are right next to each other. Our best tackle, most physical kid, we put on the outside. Okay. This really helps. If you don't have a great tight ends, like great blocking tight ends, we use this a lot. So this kid is actually a really good lineman. And so he now has a tight end job. Okay, so he's going to take him. My other tackle's pulling around. My guard should be trying to pull. But you can tell right now, like the wing back, he's not even sure. I think he ends up going to this guy too. But like they don't have enough. They just don't have enough over here. You just put him to the boundary. Motion. And it's a bad pitch. But like right now, again, this is our first game of the season. So, but you can see the frustration. Like if he catches this pitch here, it's just that much easier. So there you go. You got my wing back and my tackle. And my other tackle, they're looking for dudes. We got 3 guys, 2 guys blocking 1 there. Guys downfield. Let's see how my backside, and you can see he's pizza blocking. Don't hit him in the back, so that's under. All right, so over tight. Okay, so now over is the opposite of under. So we're going to take this tackle, bring him over here. So this is 2 years ago. So this is my best tackle. And then I call tight. When I say tight, that tells our split ends they're going to move into that nasty split. What it does is it creates a issue for these guys. Like, where do you line up? Because you're going to line up wide and give up power and belly, or you're going to line up tighter, and then they're going to have to roll to help on the edge. Okay. So, all right. So he's going to block down. He's going to pull around, and you'll see here. He's got the angle right here, Nathan here, my split end, he's a great kid, but you can see he has the angle. All he's going to block down and just get push on him and keep working his head to the field. So now here's my wing back coming around. Oh, I forgot. You'll notice my fullback's coming too. So my wing back's around. Here's my fullback. And they all kind of stop, and he's just working. This is a great job by this kid. He kind of pauses for a minute, but all he's trying to do is take his left arm, since he has the angle, get his left arm and just run. Run up, run, keep running. Stay on him. One of the few times, and like I said, we'll get to the edge, but you're going to see a lot more of us getting into that D gap. Here's another one on the edge. This is a team that dives. Again, I talk about guys that talk about divers. So now, all right, this one we actually called Rocket Base, which means I'm going to have him try to just base this kid, because I know they're diving. I'm just going to try to have him base him, because I know that these guys aren't going to have to worry about this diver. So he's going to base, he's going to reach, and these guys are going to pull. There's a base block. Here's my wing back. And again, you'll see him, like right now, he's on a good path. But this kid's a meathead wrestler, 140 pounds, tough as nails, but like he just ends up squaring him up. But if he just keeps working in here, he has the edge. He hits him square. He's like, I'm going to knock him out. And he doesn't knock him out instead of being smarter there. But the kid's cutting back. All right. So now we have, again, this is an off one. So off left, so our fullback's off. All right, so here's a great, if you watch my left guard here, okay? So this is what we're talking about. As the guard's pulling, he's got to wheel and seal any pressure. And what we do, this is a great drill that actually stole this one from Bandstra, Coach Mensing and Wafer, or he got that, but where we take just half the line and we just do reps. So we'll have our guard, our tackle, our tight end, our center. We won't have the right side of our line. We'll line up our backs. And then we'll just run rocket over and over and over. And we'll run it 3 or 4 ways and we'll just have guys in pads over here just on this side. And we'll just, coaches will yell at them, like shoot at them, like go forward, slant this way. And we'll just practice our timing with our wing backs, our guards and tackles pulling, our 7, 8, 9 blocks with our tight ends and or a super tackle. And then these guys can work on, as this happens, guards pull in, feels his tackle right here. He's got a piece of him. All I got to do is just stay on him, let the kid run. It's a great job. That's hard, but like I said, you can do it if you just drill it. You know, we'll do a 5-minute period of this what we call outside run, perimeter game. All right. So again, notice how my wing back, I have no idea why he doesn't block this kid. Because he has the edge. And I asked him in the game, and he said, well, I thought Rourke was going to get him because he was off, and Rourke's our fullback offset. But he was out here, and our fullback was going for him. But our tackle gets around the tight end. Our tight end's back here. The tackle's downfield. And then look at the cutback lane. It's a great job. The kid should have his head up because he should have been gone already. But that's that play that, you know, you're sending a lot of hats right through here. You're going to send, 2 or 3 helmets right up that gap. So it's a nice job. And then you just, all the stuff you teach them, not really, because ran for 1,500 or something yards this year. Okay, here's one out of empty. Like I said, we run a ton of formations. So split right is my right end is going to go out. Then I go tight, so then he moves in. Then green is our fullback, goes to right wing, and my right wing goes out here, and he's a flanker. So we have, I don't know if you see that, like our left wing's right here. So that's we got an empty look, right? So now, again, same rules. I'm a nasty split, FBI. And actually, these 2 guys, anytime we're in this nasty split, they'll go cross. So every time the defense knows, like it could be a pass play. They're going cross because he's down, he loops around. We run belly. He's down, he loops around. It doesn't matter. So he's blocking down. This guy's pulling. This guy's doing the wing back job now. He's going to try to get outside of him. And everybody else is doing the same. You'll watch one full speed here. See, we're not great blockers. It's like you could have a kill shot there, and then our guy's pulling. Get vertical and go. Okay, team is a pretty good defensive team, but as you can notice, go back here, if you watch these 2 linemen, don't even need to worry about them. Divers, it's, we don't see that many teams that dive anymore because we've run rockets so well lately. Here it is again. But now we're in over. We're not in over tight. Okay, so now these guys got to communicate. So this is our super tackle. He's got to get here. Are there guys reaching? He's going to take the wing. What happens is he ends up cracking. So he must have called a crack call, but he doesn't, as you'll notice, he doesn't stay with him. Which really, if he calls crack, all he's got to do is pin him here, and he loops all the way around that man to lead up to the safety. Should be an easy. But another thing, see how if you watch our wings, sometimes like this kid, he's catching it, and he's kind of going back. He's not really sprinting flat. He should be sprinting hard and flat. Because with his shoulders turned, then he can get vertical. And you can see our kids are trained to get vertical because he really should be taking this angle here. And I always tell them, though, you won't get bitched at if you're getting downhill. As simple as that. So I think they just do that so they're not getting yelled at. And then he realizes, oh, I should have went out there in the first place. Yeah, well, happens. Again, this is the same kid, just motion too deep. But, I mean, you can see the hats. And then, all right, so we're going to get into pop pass here. Sorry, Coach, I'll get moving. But you can see how aggressive these guys and these openings for pop pass. These guys are coming. I mean, all of this, quick pop passes is what we're gonna hit on next. But there's that alley again. So if you notice, like if he tries to get outside of him, okay, he is going to be there. Does he make the tackle? I don't know, but he's going to string it out, and everybody's running to it. But now, my tackle and guard aren't going to run out that far. I mean, if you got tackles and guards that run that far, man, you got some fast kids. My kids are just pulling up, and I've got just a bunch of lids. Just get downhill. Take it. All right, let me get to rocket pop, just a couple of this. All right, so then our play action off that is our pop pass. And really, this stuff, if anybody that, sees this later, please contact me and I can send you this. Don't let it down, please. I don't, whatever. I'll share. I'm a film junkie, probably just like the rest of you. But basically, we're going to try to fake and just try to get somebody right behind that backer in that little backer hole. The throw is like 10 yards. The one thing I want to say, though, is that the motion back is going to run a swing, and you'll see us hit it one time. Sometimes our quarterbacks will forget about him. But as he spit, our quarterback does kind of a half pitch. He pops up to throw it, and he's looking right in that window, basically over, and we run it mostly with a wing. So we'll have a tight end split out. That wing back will be right in that little hole, 5-6 yards deep. If that's cloudy, we want them going right to the swing. Like our kids on pop pass, we don't go, okay, it's the seam to the fade to the swing. It's the seam to the swing. That's it. It's simple enough. Because we don't want them wasting that much time. We're not asking our kids to block that long. Yeah. And then pop skinny. Let me go back to this one for a second. So in our tight end or whoever's in the C gap, right, looking for that pass, our fullback is going to protect the back side. Our left guard, let's say we're running it to the right. So our left guard is going to take a step inside and then hinge. Tackle, step inside and then hinge. And our fullback is going to replace off that. So if the tackle happens to step out, he might go into the B gap. But hopefully my guard, my tackle, and my fullback have created a wall, a backside hinge on that wall side. So here's a couple. So this is out of, double tight. If you're double tight team, it's kind of how we started running it. All we saw was this outside linebacker or this inside linebacker. He'd be screaming to fill that alley. We're just going to try to hit him right there. He's going to spin around and hit him right in that window. Formations, we run it more out of our stuff like this, or this is our wing back. We're going to take a couple arc steps, and then he's just going to try to replace and find that window right there. Our tight ends trying to get to the numbers. Our backside tight ends also expanding and getting to the numbers. We're trying to open up the middle of the field, obviously. The bottom formation here, this one's out of empty. And sorry, I drew it up. It looks like we're in gun. We're not in gun here. We have run in a gun before. If you run jet pop, it's just, same type stuff. But this is what we would call skinny. Oops. Our skinny here, because now usually if we're running pop, the rules are if you're the inside guy, you run the pop. The number 2 guy, you're running to the number. Well, now we're running skinny, so they switch. So this right here makes it look like he's going to crack. And then he gets right up to the middle of the field. And more of the times than not, though, this number 2 receiver is wide open. So, if you think about it, how are you going to defend us? Okay, if we're an empty and we'll run rocket, we'll run counter, we run a play like a little QB gut play where you spin around and go right up like trap. So what teams do is they're like, all right, well, we'll put a guy here. Dang it, sorry. We'll put an overhang player, play a guy here, and then they're going to have their 4. So they've got 10 guys right here, and then they'll put that safety, corner. This little alley here, they're running a 3 deep on us. It's going to be wide open. And if they're running 2, then they're in trouble, obviously, with the seam. Oh, let me do this. Let me show you this fullback stuff. Somebody's going to get something out of this, hopefully. This is our fullback rocket. This is a Hudson physical defense, and they jammed. They were not going to let us run power or trap, or belly. So this is flex tight again. So these guys cross. So you can see this. It's going to be a down. It's going to be an arc. We're running it to our fullback. You notice he's a little bit deeper, yes. So if you're a double wing guy, he's even deeper than usual. Which they don't notice too much. He's probably back a little bit too far. But all he's going to do is he's going to work the same pass. He's going to work straight down the line, catch the pitch, hopefully right here, and then read. Dollar tight end who Tucker is a basic great place for us. And he had 2 fade catches in our regional final game to get us in the semifinals, but he's not a great blocker. But as you can see, he down blocks, gets our guard there is getting hung up by him because he gets penetration. But we've got our tackles by him and our wing backs trying to get outside of him. And then it's just run. So here's one with the motion, where we motion the guy across, get an extra hat. Again, this is on me probably because I'm telling our guys to get downhill, but you can see he has the angle. He's worried about kicking him. We do this drill so much that all he has to do, and this guy, if he just runs outside, he's going to get out there because we have the angle. Okay, here's an empty one. So we call tray. Tray is, so again, you tackle over, tight, nasty split, tray now, both wings, and here's our fullback. So we go the other way, we got tray, and then deuce is the opposite direction. So it might sound wordy, I know, but our kids know it at this point because we just add stuff as we go. Right there, that's, easy, down, wing, alley, right. Don't let them get outside of you. Perfect. There's more of them. If anybody wants to see them, can, let me show this one though. I keep saying that. All right. So this is a team that we lost to regular season, and beat them in the districts, Blissfield. So we were running this, and they're a 4-3 team. You can tell, but they're kind of shifted to the field here into our strong side, which is pretty normal. And it's the field, and we're unbalanced that way. So if you look, here's the ball, 1, 2, 3, and then they got a safety. So, all right, well, we're just going to no motion, quick pitch to him, seal, tack. You go out here. Now we got to worry about him. And if we get to him or our fullback makes a play, we got numbers. Bam. This is a great job. And this kid is this guard, that comes get him. He's a nice, well, I should say nice kid. He's actually pretty mean, but not very smart. He's just trying to do things, and he does a great job just running at something. And there's our cutback alley. If we try to get to the edge, if we try to run a traditional rocket, this is a 0 to 1 yard play. But there's our alley, because we got kick, boom. We don't want negative plays. Simple as that. All right, let me get to the pop pass here. All right. So here's one out of double tight. So again, there's kind of our backside. Now he should be here. And our guys are attacking, not really going downhill. Whoops. They're not really hinging, which they should be doing. They should be setting and hinging. Our protection, our front side, everybody's big on big. Our tight end gets jammed up. They played a hard 8 technique. This kid's a really good defensive player. I know they're just telling him to hold our tight end up, which he does, and this kid's not very talented. But so it's all cloudy and ugly. Just take it and dink it over here. Okay. And then let your better kids do something with it. But again, we don't run a double tight very much because it's easier for this kid to get into that seam than it is for our tight ends because people jam it. So now we're split left. Right, actually, sorry, this should be split right. I got labeled wrong. My other offensive guy is labeling these wrong. Motion, kind of a half pitch, pop up, throw it. Nobody in the middle of the field. Oh, so this is that Blissfield team again from 2 years ago, though. They actually were rotating. So we motioned this kid, you'll kind of see him sneak, and that safety was actually cheating over, and they're trying to cover him with this linebacker. So since he was coming to stop the run, the corner, the safety was cheating over top for this man. I figured we're trying to hit that window. And you'll watch our kid get tackled. It's a great tackle. Yeah, it's good stuff. He got made fun of a lot film for that one. All right, so here we got a man team. But sorry, this angle's hard to see, but I mean, if you see something like this where they're trying to play man, you really press everybody up in the line. We got a split end up here. And again, this kid's off the ball, so it's hard to jam him. Now he's just going to try to beat that kid on a pop. Arc release, great job. It's hard to see here. If you watch his reaction and his path, he goes out, and he slips right underneath him. So we tell if their wings, if the wing is doing it, we're telling them 3 steps and then bam, get vertical. Ball should be there. 1, 2, 3. Number 5, you can see his numbers. He goes underneath him. Ball should be coming. Boom. All right, so here's empty. So we got flex, which for us is like 2 split ends. Then we got green. So we've got our fullback out here, and I cheated. This is our, this kid is our best running back last year. He's a sophomore here. I put him here because I was hoping to try to get him the ball in this pop pass. So we got no backside help. So these guys got to stay on their man, but just stand up, hit him right in the seam. So again, the safety here this team's safety did a good job because he kind of tried to play in the middle of him and him. We got the ball to him, but he still. Oops. Okay, so this team, this was a couple years ago, and they were doing a pretty good job against the defense. They were having a hard time. They were really jamming everybody up and then playing hard man on guys. We were having a hard time. So they were bailing and then following everybody out. So like there was huge windows here. So we ran a pop drag. So he motioned this way. Basically, this guy's covering him man. With the motion, he kind of peeks up and he runs a drag underneath all the way to the backside. So you can think up whatever you want out of your pop. Kid pops up and they're chasing. This guy's got a man coverage. This is an all-state fullback. Easy throw. And thankfully we caught it. Wasn't always guaranteed for us. Here's an empty, their fullback. So we're trips this way. They've rotated over. The nice thing about this is we hadn't shown this formation yet. It's a big rival of ours. I mean, you can see these linebackers, we run rocket and you just watch this kid. Great player for number 44 for them. He's coming down here. He's like, oh, poop. There goes our fullback. Easy throw. And you can see that. I mean, not throwing BBs. All right. So, Coach, what if they rotate and then they're rotating over and they're cheating their safety? Well, then you're gonna do what we call throwback. Well, like I said, he's throwing the pop, we're throwing the swing. If I call throwback, I want him looking for the throwback, which is the backside tight end. He's just trying, because these guys rotate over, he's gonna sneak back out here because they're rotating over so hard. So we fake it. And it's almost like a naked boot pass. Okay, here's pop skinny out of that. And we run it a lot out of this formation here to get him to the middle of the field and then him to the hash. So it should be number, the middle, which right here he's going to be on the hash because of our location. He's going to try to get to the other hash, which would be on the inside. And then he's got the backside numbers. And at times, I'll tell this guy to stay home, honestly. So he's going to the number. We got the arc. And our tight end's running like the block and then right down the middle of the field. You can see there's our alley player, too. It's coming down the seam. Different looks, and when that tight end comes down and he's cracked on the outside linebacker, he's cracked here, these guys react up and then he can get through the middle. All right, so this is one I wanted to show because, quarterback here is actually my son. He's trying to throw deep, and this is just really, really cloudy. Well, this ball should be right here. He gives up on it too early. He should be running the swing to the field. So if it's cloudy, if it's cloudy, this kid's sprinting. He's catching the ball here, and then he's already got leverage on him, so now he'll run. And the one thing that we do really well is our kids, if somebody else catches the ball, we'll peel back and turn to help out. So if he catches up here, what happens is this guy knows I'm going to turn and peel here, and then he's going to lead up the field. But he throws it into almost double coverage. It does hit the kid in the face, but shouldn't have been thrown there. Oh, here's another one. So I get the questions a lot of, well, when you motion and they rotate up, right? Because in this game, we had done quick pitch to our fullback, then we motioned because this team always stayed balanced. We played them forever, and they're going to stay in there 4-4, and they're not going to shift, they're not going to rotate. So we would just motion this guy over, and we'd have a lot of hats. Well, then these guys started just coming hard. This is, I think, game tied at this point. So then what we did is we kind of make it look the same. He motions across, and then we just run a flood. Because they're coming up to stop the rocket play. And we just, this is what I'm just talked about. So we got our tight end is in the end zone. And number 2 back, and you'll see their heads turn. Like, all right, sweet, now we're off to the races. Peel back, look to block. It's a great job. Let me just put my stuff up here for a minute. So there's my information. my email address, my cell phone number. Anybody have any questions, want to talk, think I'm crazy, it's pretty normal. Be happy to talk, share film. You want PowerPoint, do that slides, and Onsted football on Huddle. So